Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. So today we'll start off with deploying our front-end application on Netlify. So we'll set up the entire CI/CD pipeline using which whatever commits you make from your local will get reflected directly in the production. So let's get started with it. So I've created a simple documentation which you can follow. And using this documentation, you'll be able to set up your entire CI/CD using Netlify. So step one is to create a private repository. So I'm using GitLab. You can use GitHub or any other Git provider. So I have set up my private repository in GitLab. And the second step would be to create a React app and then do an npm run build. So I have already created my React app to save some time. And here I have ran npm run build previously. And using that, there's a build folder that gets created at the root of this application. So for now, we keep this build folder handy as this will help us deploy our website on Netlify. So um, that's the next step to create a React app. And we have to create a build folder in the root directory, and then we'll keep that handy. So you can create the build folder using a simple command npm run build, and that will create it for you. Next, what I have also done is I have committed my application onto GitLab. So as you can see, it's present over here. Now we shall move forward with the CI/CD part. So we need to head to GitLab CI/CD and then go to editor and then configure pipeline and then paste the YAML code and commit those changes. I'm sorry, paste the YAML code and commit those changes. So I have the YAML code with me. I'll share it along with this YouTube video. So we have to go to CI/CD on GitLab. Then we have to go to pipelines. I'm sorry, go to editor. And then from editor, we'll go to configure pipeline. And then here is the initial YAML script that gets generated with three stages: build, test, and deploy. And each stage has its own jobs: build job, test job, and deploy job. Now, right now, it's just printing echo statements. So we'll configure this up. I have already worked on that. So here is the working repository. So we'll just copy this and paste it here. I shall share this code as well. So let me just quickly go through what's happening here. So node latest image will be considered by the CI/CD pipeline. It will download that image, and there's only one stage. The only stage is deploy stage. Now, previously there was build, test, and deploy. So build stage and deploy stage are one and the same in case of React frontend. npm run build, it manages both. And testing is it depends from business to business. If you need to do testing of your front-end application, you can do so. A Jest framework, let me type it here. So GAEST. Jest framework is very popular for uh, front-end testing, unit testing. So that's again business need. So this is what we will require at the moment. And it has a script which will basically we'll get into our application. So in our case, it's not test app CI/CD. It is, let me just quickly check what directory we need to get into. We need to get into YT-app. So let me change that. YT-app. You can do yours according to what's your name. And then we'll install legacy peer defs. This will make sure that there's no compatibility issues. Then we'll install Netlify CLI, npm run build, and then Netlify deploy will basically take our run build and put it onto Netlify, which will handle the entire CI/CD process. So there's auth token and site ID prod. These are the variables that we need to add in GitLab. We'll proceed with that. And we only want the CI/CD to be triggered when we are committing to the main branch. So that's why the only tag comes into picture. So I will commit these changes. Whilst this is committing, let me quickly go through what's going to be next. So we'll commit our changes. Now it's time to head to netlify.com, and then we'll head to sites, and then we will add a new site. And this time we're going to deploy this manually. So to set up the CI/CD process, initially you'll have to do this manually, and then we'll drag and drop our build folder, which we had generated in step one. So let's head back to our um, pipeline. So as you can see, the pipeline already started running. So if I head back to the repository, you can see there should be a pipeline running. Yeah, there it is. Here it shows that the pipeline is running. It should fail now because I haven't created any variables, and there's still the initial setup that we need to do. So let me head to netlify.com, and here you can log in with your GitLab, GitHub. You can authenticate with whatever provider you wish to do. And then we have to, this will be the initial dashboard. We'll go to add new site and deploy manually. And then it says clearly here, drag and drop. We will drag and drop our we'll drag and drop this build folder. So let me go and check out where my build folder is. And I have it right here with me. I'll head back and I'll quickly drag and drop it here. So it's a pretty fast process. I'll drag and drop it here. It will initialize and follow all these steps. And then if we open production deploy, yeah, see, so this React app is opened on our local machine, local host, and this is opened in production. So that's the beauty of Netlify. It's in the production. So if I head back to our normal React app, and maybe in app.js, I would like to make a small change. I'll say that within header itself, let's put an h1 tag saying, hey, all right, and then let's save this. So we've made a change, and yeah, well, it says logo is defined but never used. We'll remove unused imports. We'll save it. Yeah, compilation successful, and there are no warnings. So if I head back to my app, this React app, which is open now, is from Netlify's production, whereas this React app is from our local. Now, when I talk about CI/CD, what I mean to say is whatever commits we make locally here, it should directly get affected in our production. So that's what we're trying to aim for. So it happens in our local, well and good, but we need it in the production. So let's move forward with what's the next step. And then, so we proceeded with this step, drag and dropped it. Netlify automatically builds it and you can view it. And then, sorry, site spelling is wrong. Yeah. And then here is your shareable website link. So if I share this link with anyone, family, friends, whoever, they can view this website. So that's also an amazing part. And let's head back to this. Now we need to set up the variables I was talking about in our GitLab. So we have to head to our profile on Netlify, applications, OAuth, and we need a personal access token and we need to copy it. So let's quickly do that. We need to head back to and applications. Yeah. So Netlify, this is the recent deployment profile, user settings, and then general applications. Here it is. OAuth. Here it is. So what we need to do is we need to create a personal access token here. So this access token, we'll feed it to GitLab over here. These two are same, so I'll close this. And here we have to open your GitLab, go to settings, and then we'll head to CICD. So here we have our variables. So in these variables, we'll add the required variables. So let me check out what's in our what I did in my previous repository. I had went to variables, and then so the first variable we need is auth token. So key would be auth token, and we'll receive our value. So we'll create a new access token, and we'll call this token auth token for GitLab, something like that. Generate token, and we'll copy this, and then we'll paste it right here. And we'll add that variable. So the first variable is added. Now just click on done. That's done over here. So from Netlify part, I think we're good to go. So we just finished this. And then we need auth token. And the second variable we need is site ID. So again, for site ID, we need to head back to our sites. This is the most recent site I developed. I have done so many, and 4 minutes ago. This is the latest one. So I'll go there. I'll head to, so this is where you can see information about the site that's just deployed. I'll head to site settings, and then here we'll receive site ID. Copy this. It comes under the general category, and we'll have to add a new variable, and we'll call this variable, what did I call it previously? Site ID prod. There we go. So site ID prod, and then add that variable as well. Now we have two variables, auth token, site ID prod. So that's awesome. So we have added them in the variable section in CICD. Now, what we need to do is we need to run the pipeline. So this should complete the whole thing. Now, if you remember about 3-4 minutes ago, I had made a commit and changed this to hey. Now I change it to hey, how are you? I'll save this. And this change is obviously in my local at the moment, and we need that in our production. So I have made these changes. I'll stop this server for now. Because I've stopped the server, I will close this local host. And then let me commit this quickly. Git status. Yeah, I made some changes. Git add. Hey message. Git push. Okay, so I need to pull first. So what basically happened here is from GitLab, I actually created the YAML script. I had to pull that into my local. So I just pulled it, and now git push. So now it should work. Awesome, it worked. So let me head back to our repository. I have just made a commit calling it hey message. And as you can see here, our pipeline is pending, so it should quickly start up. So to check it out, we can head to CI/CD pipeline, or click it right there. So it says it's running. So let's see. This is my stage, and let's hope it works. So now what should happen here is it should install the latest node image and Netlify CLI and whatever script that I had mentioned in the YAML file, and then it should get reflected in our production website. So let's see how if this works out or no. So another cool thing till this happens, let's do another interesting thing. So here is our website. Oh, I just opened it again. My bad. So I'll head to there's a feature here where I will be able to change the name of my website. Site overview, maybe domain settings. Here options, edit site name. Awesome. I'll say this YouTube test app and then save it. Yeah, that's a nice name. So what's the status with this? Okay, this is taking its sweet time. So okay, so in the end, we received the job succeeded message from the pipeline logs. So that's good news. And it also says that the pipeline has succeeded. So when I go back to my repository, it will show a green tick, which is obviously the good news. And if I head back to the application, oh, this is with the old site ID name. So I'll close this. And here is our site, and then launch it again. And here we can see that the changes are successful. So that's how we set up the entire CI/CD flow. Now locally, if I make some commit, if I make some change locally on Netlify on React, and then if I commit that on the main branch on GitLab, then the pipeline will get triggered again, and then the latest feature, whatever you add, will get reflected on your application. So this is about CI/CD and connecting it with a private repository. Thank you and have a nice day.